what I fucking said to her then.
What? Man.
And you're very welcome back. Oh, sorry, that's your line.
Yeah,
Go.
sorry.
Go on,
Just
go on.
don't do it again. Okay?
Yeah, just do it. Go on.
And you're very welcome back to the Lads Podcast. This is episode something. I'm Daragh.
And I'm 17. This is episode 17.
Are you 17?
Well, yeah. This is episode Steve.
God, you look fucking old for a 17-year-old.
This is episode Steve, and I'm 17. I'm 17 years of age.
And I'm Zac Efron in 17 again.
Good man. I thought he was in 13 going on 30. Or is that another one?
That's
Chandler Bing. Zac Efron turns into
Basically,
Chandler Bing.
Chandler Bing.
What's his name? Matthew Perry.
Matthew Perry becomes
Chandler
Zac Efron.
Bing.
He goes back to his 17-year-old self, because remember when...
Back to the Future.
Yeah, because remember when Matthew Perry was 17, he looked exactly like Zac Efron.
Yeah.
So
he looked like 25-year-old Zac Efron when you're 17. You know, the naughties, eh?
Yeah.
Remember Glee? 30-year-olds playing 16-year-olds.
I'm in Glee.
Are you in Glee, yeah?
I'm in Glee. I'm a main character.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that, do you?
No. It's I like to leave that part of my past behind.
That's fine, yeah.
How are you? How was your week, Steve?
Very busy. I will say that.
Wow.
Now.
We've never said that before.
I know. Busy, man. Oh man, yeah, it was busy, I must say. It was chock-a-block. Started college this week, so Tuesday and Thursday nights were 3-hour lectures each night, 6:30 to 9:30.
What was the topic of each lecture? Can you give me a brief summary on each one?
So the first one was human factors in health and safety.
I was being sarcastic, but
no,
keep going, please.
You're getting it now. And the second one on Thursday was health and safety legislation in the Irish legal system.
God, that sounds
two modules.
Really interesting.
Actually was. It's great crack.
Okay.
I'm only messing. I turned off my camera and I just fucking drank cans, and I was like, fuck you, lecturers. I'm paying full fees to fucking drink cans. I'm only joking. I don't know. What? Right, cringe.
Oh, you're funny, aren't you? You do funny things sometimes. I forgot that. Anyway, you're welcome back. This week we're doing the really interesting topic of sleep.
Do you know what? We were so busy this week. And
I was in bed. I was about to go to sleep, and you texted me being like, "What are we doing this week?" And this is like 2 nights ago.
This is like
2 nights ago.
Yeah, this is Wednesday night. Yeah. I literally was like,
"Fuck,
Jesus,
what are we
lad,
doing?
we haven't really talked about this week. What are we going to do this week?" It's just such.
I was falling asleep, so I was like, "I go on, we'll do sleep. Sleep's interesting. I'm sure there's loads that you can talk about." And then last night, I was struggling to go to sleep, and I was like, "Oh, I better start the podcast research." So I was reading Wikipedia articles. I just fell asleep. Just bored me to sleep.
That's poetic.
So, are you all ready to
be bored to sleep?
Are you ready for the most boring podcast of your life? Well, I hope you are.
We hope you fall asleep.
Listen to this podcast at the wheel of your car.
If you're listening to this Monday morning,
driving a car, driving a train.
Yeah, what I was going to say was I wasn't going to be as destructive as Daragh here. Like, I mean, Daragh clearly wants destruction,
death and destruction,
and anarchy. But what I was going to say is maybe wait till tonight to listen to this podcast to put you to sleep.
Yeah.
So you'll never know what happens at the end because you'll be put to sleep by it. We should actually
you'll actually be put to sleep.
We should go into ASMR
mode. Oh no, then it'll be really boring. What? Hopefully our charismatic and vibrant personalities can keep the podcast alive.
But I want them to go to sleep.
So, do you want to kick us off, Steve? When was sleep invented?
So sleep was invented in about 8 AD.
Oh yeah.
By a man named
Dr. Sleep.
Sleptonomus.
I thought it was Dr. Sleep starring Ewan McGregor.
Oh, it was actually.
They made a film about it. The man who invented sleep. Yeah.
Was Dr. Sleep a sequel to something?
The Shining. Yes.
Was it? Or a prequel?
Sequel. The idea is
a
shining is what happens to someone.
Right.
So Jack Nicholson's character gets a shining or something, right? And I don't know. I haven't seen this film. I've read bits about it, and I think Ewan McGregor is one of the many people, and he's like meeting all these people, and there's ghosts and ghouls after them, and he goes back to the original hotel that The Shining happened in.
Oh, cool.
And I think his name is Dr. Sleep. It's actually a book by Stephen King. It's legit.
Oh no, yeah, it's been a book for years. Like not long after The Shining came out. Well, knowing Stephen King, it probably came out the week after The Shining came out. Like
he wrote it the week after.
Cocaine and right, like
literally fucking. Yeah, this podcast is actually on the 2018-2019 film Dr. Sleep, which neither of us have seen.
Yeah, so
we're going to do a podcast on it anyway.
We may as well, like, because
might as well. What was your favorite theme they addressed in Dr. Sleep?
I loved the very brutal theme of sleep and killing people in their sleep. Because that's what he does. That's what Dr. Sleep does. He
waits till they fall asleep and he drops a load of bricks on their bed through the roof onto their bed.
Yeah, he does some creative ways of it. Actually, what he does is he's very clever. So this is why I think this is
this is a good bit. This is a good bit now. I love this.
This is why I think this is a fantastic novel.
Yeah,
and movie, and it's a good movie too. And Ewan McGregor's performance is so good. But what he does is he goes into the attic space, right, of the bedroom.
I remember that scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
So oh man, you remember this one? So he literally puts the bricks there, right? And he does this thing where he cuts the plasterboard.
It's nearly funny, but I know it's not supposed to be.
I know, but it's very serious and intense, though.
They mean it to be sincere. They shot it that way.
Yeah, it's double meaning. It's like a perfect movie.
Yeah.
So he cut the plasterboard out when the person wasn't there, right? And he had the bricks there, but he had he had them all held on wire, so the weight of them, so the rafters were holding the weight of the bricks.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so this is what he does, and so he puts a bit of a really, like, it looks like sealant. It's not like, it's only like a bit of mastic sealant, so it's not going to support the weight of the plasterboard.
Yeah.
But to the person looking up there before he goes to sleep, that's what it looks like. You know,
looks like your regular
sealant.
sealant.
It's just like normal, you know, right? So then what happens is Ewan McGregor's up there, right? And he cuts the fucking cord, and the bricks just fall through, and boom, straight on top of your man's face. Splash. And by the way, there are so many bricks. It's so gruesome, actually.
And he screams, "Dr. Sleep."
Oh my god, do you remember the one where it was so funny? Yeah. Okay, spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie.
I know. We've already gone so far into the movie. This is real spoilers to the actual plot of the movie.
If you haven't seen the movie, please
skip forward to 22:08.
22 minutes, okay?
At 8 seconds.
Definitely by 22 minutes and 8 seconds it'll be gone. So what happened is, remember when he got into the person who he needed to murder, the Dr. Sleep got into...
Played by Hayden Christensen, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Because they starred in the Star Wars prequels together.
They did,
Did you see those?
I did, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Just wanted to double
We'll
check.
talk about that in a second, though. Let's get back to Dr. Sleep. So,
yeah.
So do you remember when he found Hayden Christensen? He was like, yes, I found his gaff. But Hayden Christensen sleeps fucking downstairs. So Dr. Sleep was like, I can't go to the fucking attic now. How the fuck am I going to do my trick?
And he was like...
Will
I use double the amount of bricks? But he couldn't afford that.
But man, there was literally only about 9 inches of floor. Like, because he lived in a 2-story place, but he was, because his family slept upstairs.
And I think it was I think it was an old Georgian house as well. So like it was thick floor, ceiling, high ceilings.
Well,
that's
the thing. So what he had to do was he actually had to crawl in between the rafters. He had to find the specific rafter. And like, there's literally only a 16-inch gap between these. I know because I built the back house. 16-inch gap between these.
Yeah.
And he crawled through it, no space, and he cut all of that out, did all that, and then he thought, well, I can't get my bundles of bricks.
Yeah.
You know? So what did he get instead of the bundles of bricks? He had to be a bit more improv for this one. He got this massive fucking 200 kg weight.
Like from the Looney Tunes, yeah.
Literally massive.
Roadrunner, yeah.
Well, sorry, it wasn't massive, it was just really heavy. When I say massive and really heavy, it was only about fucking, a foot long and a foot high. Like they
I actually went to the bathroom for that scene. I missed it.
Yeah, I know. I remember I was telling you, I was like, man, you should have seen that scene. It was so scary and hilarious. So then literally he had to stay up there because he was in confined space.
Yeah,
and he literally somehow was holding on to this weight. He's a bit of a plot hole. They never explained how he was able to just hold on to 200 kg with one arm.
I think that's the whole Shining thing.
I think it's something.
I think you would have had to watch like The Shining beforehand. There was it was actually a deleted scene. Sorry for tangenting, but just for context. It was a deleted scene from The Shining, which gives him like this super strength in his right arm.
Oh yeah,
his right arm.
That was it.
Because remember at the end of the movie with his right arm
thing. Yeah, we'll get to that.
Go on anyway. Yeah.
But yeah, basically, it was so sad. It was really emotional because I really got to like Hayden Christensen in it. Thought he was a really good character. He was really redeeming himself after the fucking prequels he was in. Anyway, so Ewan McGregor just drops the weight and just splats across Hayden Christensen's face, man. That was it. That was crazy. What do you want to get back to the arm though? Remember the arm at the end? We'll get to that now. So explain the arm.
The arm. So in The Shining, Jack Nicholson, it was a funny thing. It was just because it wasn't actually in the book. You know the way you can have some kind of liberties between the film and book.
Oh, Stephen King really contested this, I heard.
He did and it was just Jack Nicholson being a little bit of a diva. He was like...
He was method acting, wasn't he?
He was, but he just kind of went, I don't want my left arm to be in this film.
Yeah.
So Jack Nicholson didn't want his left arm in the film, and fucking was it who directed it? It was Kubrick.
Yeah.
It was Jared Leto.
Jared Leto directed it,
but yeah, anyway, Jack Nicholson didn't want his left arm to be in the film. And
Yeah,
they were like,
he was a big deal by this stage, so they were like, go on.
He was, and he was, because he'd just done One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
And he did the Batman movie.
Joker, he did Joker.
He did the 2018 film Joker, yeah.
So yeah, he did. He's in that. And anyway, so they were like, okay, Jack, how do we get your left arm to be in the film? And he was like, only if you make my right arm really strong.
Oh yeah. So how did they do
So
this
they were
again?
like, but that doesn't make sense with the story. They were like, okay, so they shot a whole scene. Now, cost, production millions, because they were paying to be in that hotel.
And they didn't tell Stephen King about this, but we'll talk about that
No,
in a
because
minute.
he was off writing. This is mid-80s.
Yeah, he was sniffing and writing.
Snorting
and
writing, that was his
Sorry,
thing.
continue there. No,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
get to that in a
And
sec.
so they went and set up in this whole scene in which Jack Nicholson just starts, killing people with his right arm.
Oh, yeah. But that got deleted, didn't it?
Yeah,
But then in
that was
Dr.
the thing,
Sleep, they wanted to honour Jack
Nicholson's.
Nicholson's...
As long as, basically they shot the rest of the film. They were like, oh, fine, okay, he'll lose his left arm. But it was kind of a homage.
Yeah.
Then they were like, we could actually put this in part of the canon of Dr. Sleep.
That was it. It was like a tribute to Jack Nicholson. And apparently I saw the behind the scenes of Dr. Sleep. I
Yeah.
actually got the DVD the other day. Not the Blu-ray, the DVD.
Oh, yes.
And Jack Nicholson, it was like a little piece, and the director of
I got it on
Dr.
VHS.
Sleep. Did you?
Yeah, on tape.
Oh, did they? How'd you manage that? I only got a record of it. I got the audio of it. It's banned in Ireland or something.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you
I was
can't
actually
see it.
there. I
'Cause
watched
it's really
the
blasphemous
behind
or
the
something.
scenes. Yeah.
Oh, did you? Oh, you were actually directing the behind the
No,
scenes
I
documentary.
was.
weren't you?
I thought I was.
Oh, just the behind the scenes documentary. Didn't you direct that, or did you edit it? Or
No,
something?
I thought I was.
Oh,
But
what were we actually doing?
what year was this again?
2018, I think.
Oh yeah. I don't remember that year.
You were living in
man. I don't remember
Macedonia then, weren't
I don't
you?
remember that year.
Man was in Macedonia in 2018.
Look, I'll be honest. I don't remember that year. I don't know what I was up to.
He was driving a van in Macedonia.
I was.
around
Will we
that
talk
was-
about that for a while?
Well, first I'm going to get to the Stephen King and the allegations. They just honoured Jack Nicholson's
Death.
death and his death in that movie, and he was somehow there to record it, even though, yeah, great movie though, 10 out of 10. But
What?
in the original Shining, that you reminded me of that.
Yeah.
That, when Jack Nicholson wanted, that's why it became a deleted scene, because Stephen King sued the fucking bollocks off them for it.
They were
He sued
because he
so
had
hard.
rights of the movie as well. He was like an
Yeah.
executive producer, and he was like, I didn't sign off on this.
See, it was also the 80s, like, so he was just like,
Yeah, everyone was suing everyone back then,
he was just like, this is my fucking movie, I can do what I want, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I forget how it was settled though. I don't think it even got to court.
They had a duel.
Oh, they had a literal.
They had a
fucking
duel, yeah.
But it was like fight to the death, but no one died. How did it end again?
I think
they just fought.
I think they both faked their deaths.
No, I think they. No, and I don't know.
was a different
That's
duel.
conspiracy theory, man. I don't see how it's. I mean, you know the conspiracy theory on Wikipedia.
Which
that
one?
Jack Nicholson and Stephen King are both dead. Oh, look it up.
Yeah.
It's like the Paul McCartney thing. Paul is dead.
We did a whole podcast on conspiracies.
But we
We're not
couldn't
going to touch on it
We
today.
couldn't get into this one because I don't really believe it. But there is one on that Jack Nicholson and Stephen King both died in that duel.
I
They
prefer
both-
the one that Jack Nicholson and Stephen King are the same person.
Oh, will we talk about that in a second? So, but
Well,
I'll just
we'll get
fill
back
them
on topic in a
Yeah,
second,
I know. Yeah, sorry, we'll get back to sleep in a second.
I know
lads, yeah.
we have tangented a little bit, but look, we'll be back on sleep in a
We'll
second.
be back
sorry.
to sleep in a sec. So it looks very relevant. Trust me, at the end you'll figure out why. But yeah, no, Jack Nicholson and Stephen King. The theory is that the two of them died that time, and they got these two actors to like fucking basically
Play
do
them.
prosthetics, and I think it was
yeah.
their stunt doubles or something. I don't know why Stephen King has a stunt double, because he's not an actor, but for some reason he had one. He
Yeah.
just had one in his house with him all the time. It was really weird.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's the conspiracy theory. I don't believe it. I prefer the one you said, the one that they're actually the same person.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk a bit about that actually?
I don't know enough about that conspiracy theory. I didn't research it this week. Look, I had a busy week as well.
Yeah, no,
Just working kind of flat out.
Yeah,
Thanks for asking.
That's cool, man. Yeah.
How
are you?
I'm grand by.
Okay,
Grand.
good.
Life's good.
Yeah,
Life's
yeah.
grand.
Great,
I'm
great.
not a big fan of the evenings coming in now.
Oh yeah, that
You know,
black cloud coming,
and that leads
back
us-
evening coming in.
Yeah, and that leads me
black
on
sky.
to our topic today of sleep.
Yes.
So yeah,
So sleep. So if we're to start talking about sleep, actually, now there's a funny story though that oh man,
What?
I love the story that you tell me about during 2018 when you were in Macedonia.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
When you
yeah.
tell me about the night you were trying to get to sleep there and you couldn't get to sleep because of the... Oh, man, it was so funny. Go on, I think it's relevant. You should tell them. It's so funny.
So there was this massive house party.
Oh, yeah, in Macedonia.
In Macedonia,
Weren't you living in a van, though? Or did you
I
get
was living in the van.
accommodation?
I was living in the van. The lads I met over there were... The lads I met over there, they just owned this house.
Oh, right.
It was this really big, like... You'd think it's abandoned, but it's just really poor condition.
It was like a Manson family type of job, wasn't it?
That was the one.
Like in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I think the Mansons had something, but
there was a connection, wasn't it? That's what you had to get out.
It was.
We'll get to that in a second.
But no, it's interesting. It's just kind of to flesh out the story. Look, it's a podcast, guys.
Yeah, look, guys.
But you know the way there was like loads. It was the Manson family. There's like 10, 20, 50 of them.
Yeah, how many of you were there again?
10, 20, 50. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
exact same. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the house is owned by like someone. Now this is only 2 years ago, so obviously they were pretty old. They were like in their 70s or 80s because they were kicking around.
Oh yeah,
in the 60s.
Oh wow,
they were young in the Manson family. Just they were only like maybe a teenager or a kid or something, so they're old enough now. I don't know how time works, man. I'm sorry.
That's fair enough, man.
Basic arithmetic.
You were also on a lot of drugs in your time.
Yeah,
in Macedonia,
I was.
So you were pretty up to it. Like
yeah. And anyway, yeah. So. Basically, I think the house... Look, people say the house is haunted, but, not really into that sort of shit myself.
No, that's not my thing.
But, look, big house, and there was about this kind of commune living in there, and I kind of made friends with all of them.
Okay.
And they're like, man, we're gonna have a big fucking party. We're gonna have a big sleep party.
Oh, it was a sleep party.
Sleepover, as you'd call it.
Yeah, but the irony is you couldn't get to sleep, yeah.
Yeah, because of all the drugs.
Exactly.
All the
very extremely strong hallucinogenic drugs that you were taking.
That was the one.
Psychedelics.
Yeah. There was loads of them. And it was kind of... It wasn't really ethical because it was kind of spiked in the water.
Oh yeah, you actually didn't want to take any drugs.
I think we were all... I know it's not really ethical, lads, but... I think we were all kind of spiked. We're all there to have a good time anyway. You know yourself. You're like, well, hey, I'm in Macedonia. I'm going to live in a van.
I've been spiked that I may as well just get on with it. That's what you said.
We didn't really know we were,
I suppose, yeah.
But we were having a good time anyway. It's just like, everything started melting.
Oh,
and we were like... Well, the place was falling apart. It technically was melting, but there was like an extra layer of melting because of all the hallucinating.
So you were looking at walls melt, right?
Oh, they were melting already, yeah.
But then they were like double melting. What did that look like? Could you describe that now?
Double melting.
Jesus, so it literally is what you just assumed.
Double melting. That's mad. That's melting. All I can say, man.
Cool, man.
So I think we were there for 8 days of hallucinating and not being able to sleep.
Yeah. And then you were trying to sleep and you just couldn't.
Oh, do you know who showed up?
Who?
Graham Norton.
Fuck off. I knew, but he was really like, wasn't he? He used to like live with hippies and stuff back in when he moved to America.
Blind Boy did a podcast on that this week. It was very good.
That's where I was listening to it. Well, I listened to the first bit of it.
Yeah, but he actually came over to Macedonia, but I think he was trying to I think he was an arms dealer. Now, I'm not accusing him or being slanderous of anything. Look, I just want to cover my ass, you know yourself.
But you're just saying that Graham
from
Norton
what the behavior I saw him get up to in Macedonia, I was like, this guy is a bit
sketchy.
Not sketchy. Lovely man. He was so nice to all of us. But I think that's what he was up to out there. There was a lot of vans. There was a lot of guns.
Yeah.
Then again, they might have just been There's the dogs.
Then again. Oh, the dogs, yeah. Go on.
He might have just been shooting the Graham Norton show. They do use a lot of guns in that show.
They do, actually, yeah.
They do.
Oh, you should tell the audience about the story with Graham and the gun, though.
Graham and the gun.
When you were when you were 7 days into your trip.
Playing with the gun or the Russian roulette?
Oh, actually, yeah, go on about Russian roulette, yeah.
Yeah.
That was funny,
he just kind of comes up to me one night, and like he's sober man, like you'd think like, a big celebrity, he's probably on the Charlie, no, he's sober as a judge.
No, he doesn't drink. He doesn't. Well, no, he does drink
as much as
but he doesn't take any Charlie. He doesn't take any.
No, he's not into that sort of thing.
No,
and he was like, Daragh. He knew my name.
Yeah, he just knew, didn't he?
He just knew my name, but like he didn't know. I was like, you must know me from Three Me.
Were you not hallucinating though? Didn't he actually call you John or something? You just was like, oh yeah, Daragh.
No.
Didn't you think your name was John during this whole week?
I was going by John.
Well, that was it. You told him you were John, sure, yeah. See, I wasn't there, lad, so I only know the stories from him, but he's told me about it loads. Sorry, go on.
Well, you did show up. You came out for a holiday.
We'll get to that in a minute, though.
You came out for a holiday.
I did, yeah.
A few days after the Russian roulette incident.
Yeah, I see. Well, it was a bit more calmer when I came, except for the...
we'll get to that. So he was just like... It's kind of weird. It's kind of like sketchy. It's pure Deer Hunter if you've seen it. I watched that Christmas Day last year.
Oh yeah.
Deer Hunter. It's a film about Russian roulette and Vietnam War.
Wow.
And he was like, Daragh, you know what my favourite film is?
What?
The Deer Hunter.
Oh my god.
And he just wanted to reenact one of those scenes.
Oh, so you did. Oh yeah.
He was like, and I was like, oh, very funny, Graham Norton. Oh, good one. And then he just takes out a massive revolver, slams it on the table.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, oh, no, I'm not joking. And he just goes like deadly serious. He's like, pick up the gun.
He literally did the "you're going on my list of enemies" look to Tony.
Yeah.
You're going on my list of enemies.
I thought
look.
he was just trying to, I thought he was just doing a bit, and no. His like bodyguards like lock the doors, and apparently this is the thing he does. He reenacts like the scenes from The Deer Hunter with Russian roulette.
Do you know, I actually heard once, and I didn't believe this until you told me this story.
Yeah.
That's what he does. You know the way he has every celebrity
on the
his
show,
which is a brilliant show. Apparently he does this with every single one of them. And it's just that's why they're all so relaxed on it, and they're having such a laugh, because the tension gets so fucking high.
Because from the Russian roulette.
Exactly. He locks them in a room, and he does this 4 times. He's like, if he has 4 guests on, he does it to one of them each in a row. So
the
by
whole
the time
day
he gets to the
beforehand,
4th guest,
he's
already like, and then he just goes, oh lad, I was literally only messing. I just love that scene so much.
That's the thing,
and then they're all like, ha, Graham Norton.
That's the thing. There's the look. I know, plot twist. It's a bit of an anticlimax because there's no bullet in the
gun.
No,
he doesn't.
He just kind of wants the thrill of it.
It's acting. It's an experiment for him. He's literally he wants them to get to
because there's 6 bullets. How if you don't know what the fuck Russian roulette is, there's 6 bullets. You put it to your head. Click. Oh, you survived the next person until one of us gets one of your head blown off.
Yeah.
Lovely game. Love playing it.
Oh, it's great crack. Yeah.
And it kind of got to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it came back to me, and I was like, "Oh, no, 6." And then his bodyguard puts like the arm on the shoulder. They're like, "You're playing this, man."
Yeah. And
then I picked up the gun. Click. He just burst his whole laughing.
And you know what it did? A little thing came out of the gun, and it just rolled down, and it was a picture of Graham Norton's face from 1984. And he said, only joking. I really like Daragh. John, sorry, you were going by John. Yeah. And it was like, Jesus, he really put a lot of thought into that.
It's a bonding thing. Because exactly as you're saying, because you get onto the show then and everyone's buddy.
But you met him for a cup of tea since, like, your buddies. Now, I know he still calls you John, but you met him for a cup of tea there recently, didn't you?
Yeah.
Before lockdown, wasn't it?
Look, NDAs and stuff, I can't really talk about what's going to happen.
The projects,
But Macedonia. Fans and guns.
Yeah, and possible appearance on the Graham Norton.
Yeah.
So
look, we are tangenting a bit. I think we need to get on to the topic.
Sleep. Well,
we have to get back to sleep.
Yeah.
Steve, what's your best experience you've ever had sleeping? What's the best sleep you've ever had in your life?
Well, the best sleep I've ever had in my life was it was funny. It was actually after a pretty hectic weekend.
Okay.
Like, this is hilarious because this is literally just the Macedonia thing, man. Remember when I visited you in Macedonia?
Yeah.
You remember that night? That was the best sleep I've ever had in my life. As in, I slept for 36 hours.
It's big sleep.
So it was like 3 sleeps in one, 4 sleeps in one.
Yeah.
A lot of sleeps in one.
We couldn't wake you up.
You thought he was dead or something, didn't he?
Wake up, man.
Well, I was breathing really loudly and heavily, but like
at the start, but then your breathing started getting like really slow, and it got to the stage that we're like,
I was in an
there a
extreme
heartbeat?
Meditative state.
You really got it. And what was that like? What do you remember anything from it? Like, is there memories? Was there dreams? I'd imagine it'd be like really heavy, but
full on adventure, man. But it didn't feel like a dream. I actually thought it was reality. Like,
okay,
well, you see, I drank the fucking acid water. And by acid I mean psychedelic acid, like not the other acid water
that was going around as well.
Well, that was the one who was like, lads, don't touch the acid water.
No, lads, you don't touch this one.
Do you remember when fucking Graham Norton nearly drank the acid water?
And we're like, Graham, that's the acid water.
Graham, like, you know, they were like, Russian roulette this, Graham. Yeah, no, that was so I had a glass of the acid water, and I literally just started tripping. I was really anxious though to start, because you know me, I'm not into.
You wouldn't be doing recreational drugs and stuff.
And you were like, oh boy, acid, you've just taken it. And I was like, Daragh, no, please, no. And you were like, scram boy, I've been tripping for fucking 9 days.
Yeah, 8 days.
8 days, yeah. Oh yeah, I know you had a break that day. Actually, you were sober through this whole thing, weren't you? I mean, you looked like just a tree to me. So
because I had come back. Keep in mind, so I'd finished up the trip in the house in Macedonia.
Yeah.
I had done the Russian roulette with Graham
Were you tripping for that though?
I'd come off it. I'd come down, as the kids would say, and that the Russian roulette kind of sobered me up. So, and you'd arrive by that weekend, and you were like, "Oh, party," and I was like, "Man, I'm partied out. Look, there's just have this water. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. You know."
Did you fucking spike me?
No, we No,
I thought that was.
We tried to get you to drink the acid water. The acid.
The actual toxic acid.
We're like, Steve, will you have a sip? This is really good.
It'll be funny.
And everyone would. The thing is, you would, but everyone was just laughing.
Well, you know, it didn't work because the minute you poured it into the glass just started disintegrating. So. And in fairness, I kind of knew there was something wrong then. And then
you picked up the glass that clearly said LSD on it.
Yeah.
And drank the whole thing.
And I read it and said, "Why does this say LSD?" And you smiled, and I drank it. And
I winked at the camera.
Yeah. The camera was there. Actually, we were preparing for the podcast 2 years prior.
Yeah.
So we're time travelers. So so I took that, and I was in a really bad way. I was like shivering, cold, like sweating because I was really anxious, having a bad one.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, asleep. And then you turned into a tree.
Okay.
No, I didn't fall asleep yet.
Right.
You turned into a literal fucking tree.
I know.
And you know what's weird
about this? There.
Nothing else happened. I had no other hallucinations. No walls melting. Just Daragh was a literal fucking tree.
Okay.
Not like Groot, no. Like you were...
Just a tree. I just became a tree. Big? Was I that big? Like
you didn't even move. Well, I could hear your...
Trees don't really move.
Oh, I know, but you weren't like an animated tree. This is the funny thing.
Yeah.
You were just a tree. And I'd be like, what the fuck? And like, even if like in reality, like obviously my sense of reality was off, but like you probably moved from that. Like we weren't doing much moving. It was the room was about 6 foot by 6 foot, like, and there was about fucking 10, 20, 50 of us in there. But really high ceilings so we could stand on top of each other. But
and there was a ladder. There was
a big massive ladder.
There was like 8 really guys sketchy. Hanging off it.
Yeah.
Really
it was funny. But,
no windows.
No, she didn't need them. But you
just one 20-watt light up the top of it.
But like everyone else looked normal, so I was like, am I tripping, or is Daragh actually turned into a tree? Like whatever psychosilin was in my brain at the time, I was believing it was true. And you'd move from one side of the room to the other, but like as far as I was clear, you were still there. So I remember that time when I was talking, I was like looking here, but you were like, what? And I could hear you in my right ear, and I was like, what the fuck has he moved? And I closed my eyes, opened them again, you were on the other side of the room. So that's the way it was working for me. You were just a tree, no mouth moving, you didn't look like Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, sure.
You were just a fucking tree, and you were speaking. Okay. And your voice was like 3 octaves higher.
I was doing that week anyway.
Were you?
I was talking that way anyway.
No, man.
Remember? You know?
Oh, you were.
That's how John. Man,
I forgot about
because
that.
I was kind. Look, I won't say undercover because that makes it way cooler than it was. But that was the John character. I kind of did it as a joke when I got off the plane. I kind of kept going, and I was like, "Should I? I've kind of committed to it."
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that was the thing. What did Graham think of you actually when you met him, like before lockdown,
Graham,
and you were speaking
Graham
normally, and you were to tell him your name was Daragh?
Oh no, I kept I met up with him.
And did you
John.
do the octave higher?
Yeah.
Were you still?
Yeah, because that's what he remembered. If I was just like, "Hi, what's the crack? I'm Daragh," he'd be like, "What the?"
You never told me that. Jesus, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, fair enough. No,
I thought you remembered. Obviously not. Sorry.
No. I don't remember you. I'm not about your meeting. Like I wasn't there for your meeting.
I know, but I thought you would remember the 3 octaves voice the whole time.
No, I remember that when in Macedonia. I don't remember when you met Graham before lockdown on your own. I didn't know you kept the. I thought you like came.
We hadn't met at that stage.
Who?
Me and you.
Oh no, we didn't know each other then. Yeah. Go on.
No, you go on.
Sorry, I was telling the story.
I know, lads, you know this fucking podcast well. Steve
tangents.
Collins, like, we want to hear the story about sleep, and look, it's fine.
Context is important.
Look, you're here for the stories.
Basically, that was the thing, and then I was like, lads, we need to cut this fucking tree down. Got Daragh the tree.
And he was chasing after you with a big knife.
Yeah, in the 6 foot room. And I kept calling you Daragh, like, and the lads were like, who is Daragh, like? Out of the 10, 20, 50 people.
They wanted to help, but they were like, we don't know any Daraghs.
Out of the 10, 20, 50 people in there.
There was 10 Darrans, there was 10 Daryls.
And there was no Darahs, so they kept being like, what, you know? So anyway, I tried to fucking cut you open. I had no knife, but I tried anyway. Like, you know, I did my best. And eventually then I think someone had to like restrain me. Oh, that was the thing. Someone punched me square there.
Yeah.
And that knocks you out. It's a pressure point.
Okay.
Knocked me out. And that's when I had my 36-hour sleep, which could have been a mild, small coma, but we didn't have it diagnosed, so I don't know.
You were already tripping, then you were knocked out. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So basically what happened was I fell asleep, and you know the way when you sleep, as we're literally about to get onto.
Yeah, we're after this.
Don't worry.
This is a setup for the podcast.
Exactly,
don't worry.
So, you know, you go through your REM cycles.
Yes.
And your non-REM cycles. So you've got light sleep.
Okay.
Deep sleep. REM, rapid eye movement sleep, which is where a lot of your
some did his research.
a lot of your recovery and your dreaming happens then.
Yeah.
So average, let's say if you get 8 hours of sleep a night, your average kind of thing is like an hour of deep sleep, maybe an hour and a half of REM sleep if you're a good sleeper.
Yeah.
And then about 4.5 hours of light sleep, or 4 hours of light sleep. I personally get about an hour to 2 hours of deep sleep and about 2.5 hours of REM sleep. Oh, because I have an app.
Do you want to develop an app?
No, I don't. I have a sleep monitor, which is a man who literally monitors my sleep every night.
And he's taking notes.
And he's taking notes.
You can kind of tell by your body movements and how you breathe.
My brain hooked up to some shit, man.
No,
he does. He has the little, you know, the things you put on, so he analyzes my sleep. I thought he was
just watching you, because that's a trick to set up. I thought sometimes he just doesn't bother.
No, because he has to check my brainwaves to know, and my pulse and all that, to actually get this data. It's not from a Fitbit app.
You see, my
it's not
guy,
a Fitbit that's telling me this.
My guy works a bit different. He's a bit more old school. He was kind of before this technology. He just sits in the spinny chair in my room and watches, you know, for the whole night. It's a shift. You know, it's a 7 or 8 hour shift. It's doable. Well, obviously, and he just takes notes. He can kind of tell by my breathing and my body movements. He can be like, oh, he's heading to REM now. And then if I start talking in my sleep, I'm dreaming.
Sounds like a cowboy, man. How much you paying him?
How much are you paying your guy?
Well, I pay him a standard trades rate. I pay him about 14 an hour, like, so he gets 8 hours, 14 an hour, but he does pay tax.
See,
I
go through
I
go through an agency, so I kind of, it's a subscription thing. I kind of pay them in yearly.
I'll get you onto my guy, because he sounds like he's full of shit. So what does he say? How much hours of REM do you get a night?
Well, they don't actually tell me.
Man.
That's
sounds
the thing.
like you're getting shafted.
I know. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm kind of like, the deal is off. In 8 years.
Yeah. Oh, you get all the data then, so you have to go through.
The thing is, though, you know the way data becomes information. Data is like in its raw source.
Yeah.
And then you compile data together to something coherent, and that's information. I don't even get the information. I just get the raw fucking 8 years of spreadsheets.
That's interesting. And
I'm paying $8,000 a year.
And how long are you? Are you doing this? How many years have you been?
We're into year 3 now. We're into year 3.
3.
But I've already paid up front for the 8, so I might as well keep him.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying?
No, my fella. He just analyzes my sleep that way, and it's
okay.
It's grand, like, you know. It's not an app on my Fitbit thing. It's not that, which I'm not wearing, by the way, because I don't have one. So I usually get about that much REM and deep and light sleep a night. But what happened that time was your man was monitoring my sleep.
Yeah.
And well, I'll just tell you, when I woke up 4 days later and I checked it.
Oh yeah, back to I've forgotten the original.
Yeah, and it literally, do you know how much REM I had in literally, I had 36 hours of REM straight, right?
Yeah.
And then I had 2.5 hours of light sleep, right? And I had like 3 minutes of deep sleep.
Okay. Is deep usually the least amount in general as a ratio?
Yeah, or REM. It depends on how you. Yeah,
okay, but you load of REM.
If you get an hour of deep sleep a night, that's actually okay.
Okay.
You know, if you get like 2 hours, that's like nearly too much. Or, well, not too much, but
you'd be overtired then. Yeah.
You could be.
Okay.
It's hard to get it anyway. It's tough. Then I went to another 7 minutes of light sleep, right?
Out of 36 hours.
Yeah, well, no, I had 36 hours of REM straight, no break in the cycle, which is supposed to be in cycles. You're supposed to get like REM for a bit, then back to REM, and that, you know, that's how sleep goes. It's 4 stages. Yeah. But no, just 36 hours. It was all the acid, man. 36 fucking hours, right?
Yeah.
3 minutes of deep, 7 minutes of light.
Yeah.
Right? And then he's very specific. I had 2 minutes and 20 seconds then of REM again. 2 minutes and 26 seconds, right? So then I had 3 minutes and 40 seconds of deep again. It was so crazy. It was like all the cycles making up for all the stages.
It's funny how you remember this, like these really specific numbers after 2 years.
Oh, well, it was life changing. They've never been the same since.
Yeah, true.
For the better. But it was literally, it was like it was making up for the stages of the last 4 days.
Yeah.
Right. So then it went to like deep sleep again for another minute, and then it was kind of minute intervals because the maths is hurting my brain and editor. And then it went to to stages of like 2 minutes of deep, 2 minutes of light, 2 minutes of REM, 2 minutes, and it just went consistently, right?
Yeah.
And then what happened then? Literally at 38 hours and 58 minutes.
Yeah.
Sorry, 38 hours and 59 minutes. My heart stopped. For a minute.
I was going to ask how long. Only a minute.
A minute, 60 seconds, my heart stopped.
Right.
Right, and none of you even picked this up because it wasn't that long.
Man,
and
like,
you were just like, your man's conked. You know? He hasn't woken up
well, we
before.
come back if we got 8 hours, be like, you're right, bye.
Man hasn't opened his eyes in days.
You were, but the funny thing is, like, the whole time you were wearing your sunglasses and smiling.
I just want to apologise, by the way, for saying 4 days when I kept 39 hours.
Yeah, you said 36.
36, no. It was 36. Sorry, I'm getting things mixed up. I meant a day and a half. I was thinking of the working week being like 39 hours, so I was getting mixed up.
Oh, so you sleep for a week?
No, I wasn't. I was only asleep for a day and a half, but I was getting mixed up. So sorry, I over dramatized the story there, lads. It wasn't 4 days, it was a day and a half. Anyway, still a lot, 36 hours straight.
I mean, yeah.
36 of REM and then 30 and then 3 minutes of whatever.
Yeah.
You know yourself. 1 minute, heart stopped completely. None of you knew because you were just like, sure, look, he'll wake up when he wakes up. And but it was only afterwards when you looked at the data, the analytics, your mum was like, your heart stopped. But
is that not normal?
No.
Like,
not
just
at
before
all.
you...
Unless you're under cardiac arrest, like, but I literally, technically, my heart stopped.
Take a few steps back.
Right.
Is that not normal?
What?
To like stopping? 60 seconds each night of your heart stop.
No, but we'll talk about that in a second. Why, have you had experience of that?
Man, that's a normal night. And
No.
it usually wakes me up as well.
Well, I don't think it's a normal night at all. He told me it was really rare, unless he's just trying to get extra money off me.
I think he's trying to shaft me. That's very normal.
So my fella's even shafting me now. Fuck's sake.
Capitalism. Everyone's out to make a buck.
I know.
At least my guy's honest with me. He's like, your heart stopped at 364 today.
Oh yeah. And how long did it stop for?
It's usually just a minute, you know.
Oh, is it on a minute? It's
that's
okay
average,
if it's a minute.
because when we're young and healthy, it's usually a minute, and then as you get older, it's usually for years.
Yeah, my grandparents' hearts have been stopped for 20 years. So they'll actually they'll wake up soon. So but you remember when I woke up after my heart stopped? My heart just suddenly...
you were being a bit dramatic, like you're like, oh, my heart stopped. I was like,
I didn't even know, man. You're misremembering here, yeah? No, remember I just literally shouted out at the top of my fucking lungs, Dr. Sleep! Do you remember?
Man,
that's literally how it was. And then we were all like, and then you were like, right, we have to get the fuck home.
Yeah.
Graham Norton was like, stay, lads, it's getting good now.
And I was like, you know?
And then you kind of whispered to me the odd time, come on, in your normal voice, come on, let's get the fuck out of here. And sure, then the escape. Fucking hell, lads, we had some job trying to escape, like.
Yeah.
They all turned on us. Not Graham now. Well, Graham was the save.
Graham left. Look, as good as he is, he has a show to do.
But he left, but he saved us in the end. Remember when they literally crowded us when we got out? Remember we had to climb up the fucking ladder for 40 feet? Remember the room now is 6 foot by 6 foot in length and width?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's 40 feet fucking high. It's literally a tower. We had to climb up the fucking tower and they were dragging us back. It wasn't
actually a mansion, it was a tower.
But you remember, like, because Graham was gone in like a few days before this.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh my God, how are we going to
Day before.
Sorry, the day before, yeah. Sorry, my time is getting all fucked up. So we were trying to get out constantly, trying to make it sleek, and eventually they were just pulling us down. But you remember then Graham literally did that thing, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you know the thing he does? He's at the top of the tower, and his arm, like Stretch Armstrong, just stretches. This is no hallucination, this happened.
This is no joke, this happened.
It stretches all the way down, and it just gets like 10 times bigger, so he just picked us up in his hand, and we just stood onto his hand, and he just went... lifted us out.
The best thing is and the funny thing is then, like with the other arm, that started going around like a helicopter, and he flew us back to Ireland.
But that was normal size, like he was just doing that. Like I was like, how is this working?
For context, his other arm was normal. It didn't go Stretch Armstrong.
No, he was just flailing it, man.
He just started spinning it around his head really fast.
Yeah, but this arm stayed fucking 10 foot by 10 foot in width and length, and we were just sitting in it. Really warm, very nice hand.
Would recommend, yeah.
Yeah, good hand. So anyway, Daragh, we've been talking for over 40 minutes. Should we get onto the topic of sleep?
Yes. First of all, we want to just
plug the Patreon.
Yeah. So if you're enjoying what we do each week, and want to go, hey, those guys clearly know what they're talking about.
Yeah, or don't, and it's funny anyway, and it's entertainment.
Do a lot of research.
Yeah.
And clearly, like this week.
We did a lot of research.
In fairness, we do our research this week especially.
Yeah, a lot of research on this week, as you can tell.
A lot of research. And, we'll be getting to it. And if you want to support us, it's patreon.com/The Lads Podcast.
Yeah.
That's T for Tango, H for Hotel, E for Echo, L for Lima, Lima, A for Alpha, D for Delta,
P for
S for Sierra, P for Papa,
O for Orange,
O for Oscar,
Orange. We agreed on Orange.
No, it's Oscar. Oscar Mike on the move,
Right.
D C for Charlie, A for Alpha, S for Sierra again, T for Tango.
Yes, that's it. Support that on patreon.com/The Lads Podcast. That's T for seriously, if you like what we're doing or whatever, please do, and please, word of mouth, please share it around if you can. Look, you can support us on Patreon if you have a bit of spare coin. Like, there's no pressure. Graham Norton will just come after you, but if you do, but if you don't, maybe just talk to your friends, just say, oh man, Lads Podcast is really fun, love it every Monday morning or whenever you listen to it. It's great.
Kind of, it's grounded.
Yeah,
it's backed by
a team of researchers, a team of monkeys and producers outside of ourselves. Or just maybe share it to the little video clips we put up on Instagram. Maybe share that to your story, because sharing really gets us.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. So that's all we have time for this week, lads. Sorry, that was a fun. That didn't go quite to plan, lads.
No, it didn't.
We were going to talk about sleep. We did our research.
We did the end,
but that was just too fun. We just went on our tangents there.
Yeah.
It was all factual information.
It was. Those were all, real events that happened.
Real events, yeah. So
you can't prove they didn't happen.
No, so look, we will get back to sleep, but we just had to go through. We had to go through the doctor's sleep stuff.
My time in Macedonia.
Dara's time in Macedonia. The Shining. It was. I think it was vital to. So maybe next week we'll do sleep part 2.
I think this was a good prologue to sleep.
Yeah, I think so. Exactly. I think that context is really vital. So. Maybe next week we'll get back to sleep and do.
I love that. Get back to sleep.
Maybe we'll go to sleep, but maybe we'll actually talk a bit more about the actual the facts about sleep and the stuff you read on Wikipedia.
I do want to talk about your time during the Iraq War, but we've kind of run out of time this week. We'll we'll pick that up next week.
Maybe we'll pick that up next week. So look, really hope you enjoyed our really well thought out podcast.
Yeah.
The crack.
Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll talk to you next week.
Good luck.